Now everybody knows you can serve as president for 8 years, except it doesn't look like Joe Biden is planning on serving more than a couple of years. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, we all kind of expected that, right? Let's talk about it. So, Joe Biden, while speaking to a list of his donors, I know, not you or I, come on, we can't afford to donate to Joe Biden. He's talking to his corporate overlords. Don't get excited. I know you're like, hold on, I didn't get a phone call. I've done it. No, he's talking to the rich donors, not you. And in that conversation, he said that he was sitting down with Barack Obama because he was kind of struggling over his VP pick, because he is concerned about what that VP would have to do the moment they are selected. Let's look at what he said about this. The most important thing, and I've actually talked to Barack about this, the most important thing is that there has to be someone who the day after they're picked is prepared to be the president of the United States of America if something happened. This is from Joe Biden, people. So this is something that people have for quite some time. And by the way, we're not just talking like maybe he's in some type of, he becomes physically ill. In the article, he mentions catching cancer like his son. It's more than that. His mental decline has been apparent for, I don't know, a year now. There are a lot of reasons why people have been worried about this, but it's even more interesting that this reality is setting in. He's talking to his donors about this, and no one said, hold up, time out, flag on the play, real quick. I just gave you, or started a super PAC that gave you $200,000 or $300,000, anticipating that you were going to serve at least one term, or the two. You know what I'm saying? I want to be caught off guard. You're expecting to not be there the whole time. So why'd you run for president? And also, why would you have this conversation knowing it could get out into the news? That makes it easier for Donald Trump to attack you come general election season. Why? Why would you do that? Because Trump is going to maintain, I mean, he served the whole term. At this point, he's going to serve a whole term. And he doesn't look like he's that affected by it. Trump is going to use that against Joe Biden. He's already begun to. And you then have a conversation like this after not showing your face. Optically, it just doesn't look good. Now, here's what's even scarier. The short list of the women he is looking to pick for VP. Most of you won't be surprised by this list. He's mentioned Stacey Abrams. Who's surprised by this? Works for Center for American Progress now after pretending she cared about election fraud. Has basically been campaigning for him since he's announced. Nobody really understands why Stacey Abrams always is getting television time and things like that, considering she didn't win the gubernatorial race she lost. Hasn't done much of any significance since, other than creating a nonprofit that benefits neoliberals. Then you have, of course, Elizabeth Warren, who, of course, hasn't officially endorsed Joe Biden. But who needs to officially endorse Joe Biden when you've done nothing but malign and attack Bernie Sanders ever since you've, said that he said a woman couldn't be president, which nobody believed but you and your team. On top of that, let's remember, one of her people went on to the Hill Rising with Cristobal and Sagar and made up every single excuse they could think of as to why Warren would not only, she went on the attack on Bernie, right? But then, even after she dropped out, still wouldn't endorse Bernie, despite her being ideologically congruent with Bernie. That's what we're told anyway. We're told that. Nothing supports it, but that's what we're told. And that's what she was pitched as. So there was excuses flying. And we know at that point, the race was still very much open. Then, of course, we all know she wanted to brag about Joe Biden after Super Tuesday and support him. She's been campaigning for him in one form or another, even really before Super Tuesday. Then you have Amy Klobuchar. Come on, we all knew that she was on the list. She even had a Freudian slip. She had a Freudian slip where she was like our ticket or something to that extent. She said our ticket or our campaign. Whenever she dropped out and endorsed Joe Biden ahead of Minnesota, which everybody would probably agree that helped Joe Biden. One, because her endorsement definitely got him some votes, but also she, by pulling out when she did, allowed all of her early votes to accumulate and then not count for anything, which means those are votes that could have potentially went to Bernie Sanders but never went to him. So she helped out Joe Biden in a state that Bernie was really slated to win, and ended up going to Joe Biden in a victory that really was a blow to the Sanders campaign. And then Kamala Harris in California. We all saw this coming. We all knew it was coming. We know they have very similar donors. We know that there is this idea that because Kamala is a black woman, I throw that up in quotations because that's the image that they're portraying. Yes, she is in fact black, but when I say a black woman, they're pretending like she's Nina Turner when she's more like Condoleezza Rice, but less black than Condoleezza Rice. But anyway, but we all knew that was coming as well. That list is not giving me any confidence. Let's be real. It's a donor approved list. But I think that it goes without saying that all of this presents another problem that I think that we should be addressing. Remember how pissed we were when we found out that Citigroup was the one who picked Joe Biden's cabinet? Why are you talking to donors about who should run the country? Like the big donors. Because you ain't talking to everybody. And it's crazy because Biden was having a lot of technological difficulties when it was time to talk to the country about the coronavirus, but somehow he managed to get a bunch of donors. How many donors they say it was? About 70 Georgia donors. He managed to get that squared away. Crazy, huh? It's awesome what you can achieve when you actually put an effort to achieve it. But why are you not instead talking to the experts? Why are you not instead talking, because you say climate change can't wait, so talk to climate change experts about what potential VPs could align best with this idea that climate change cannot wait to be addressed. Doctors who are in the field weighing in on people's various responses to the coronavirus pandemic. Why aren't you talking to them? Strategists even. Maybe, I don't know, talk to the people who have the most unique and diverse donor bases, which would be Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard, and Andrew Yang. Talk to them. Talk to people who can peel votes away from Donald Trump. Talk to them. Ask them who you should pick. If you're worried about, your potential either imminent demise or your incapacity to do the job. But no, let's talk to a bunch of rich and wealthy people about how to protect their riches and their wealth. Makes perfect sense. If Joe Biden really believes this is such an urgent matter that the person who comes up next might have to start their job tomorrow, if there's something going on, because like I said, this whole, where is Joe thing, hiding Biden, Joe hiding, Joe be hiding, all that good stuff. It makes it look as if he is hiding because he is worried the world is going to find something out. We don't know what that is, but that's what it looks like. And this does not ease those fears. And if that's the case, Bernie better not drop out. Because if I'm Bernie Sanders right now, if I'm Bernie, I'm like, yo, I ain't going nowhere. For what? If he drops out, then Joe picks a running mate, that running mate will become the nominee. If Bernie does not drop out, even if Joe picks a running mate, Bernie will become the nominee. And it is highly... Now, granted, I will say this. Anybody who ran in this election could become the nominee because all they do is suspend their campaigns, but they can still pick up delegates at the convention if they were on any of the ballots. So that needs to be made clear. But for all intents and purposes, I think we can safely assume that it would have to be Bernie Sanders who would become the nominee if the Democratic Party wants to maintain any remnants of this bullshit farce of a party that they currently have put together. Because if they try to pull some nonsense at the convention, all hell break loose, and they may not have a party afterwards. At least it won't look like this one. So Bernie should stay in. There is more and more concerns regarding the capacity of Joe Biden to do the job and do it effectively. To even be at the damn inauguration on January 1st and know where he's at when he gets there. At that point, and then if you're also looking at the short list for VP for him, I think in my opinion, it's important that Bernie Sanders stays in. Because it's not looking good for Joe, in my humble opinion. We'd love to know what your thoughts are about this. Leave a like and a comment below. But always remember, more than anything else, people, find your balance. Peace. If you like that segment of Mikasa Sukasa, don't forget to like the video and smash that subscribe button. Want access to members only live streams, behind the scenes footage, and other premium content? Well, you can endorse us on Rockman Premium, become a patron through Patreon, or you can sign up for the mcsc premium membership through YouTube. All the links are in the description below. But hey, more than anything else, always remember,
find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance. Find your balance.
Find your balance. Find your balance.
Always remember, more than anything else, find your balance.
peace.